What's going on, guys? This is my post-ride review of the Indian Challenger. I've got to send a huge shout out to Hunter, Tommy, and the rest of the gang over at Stubbs Cycles for allowing me the opportunity to throw a leg over this machine and bring it to you. There will be a link in the description below to the ride-along video so you can catch my reactions to this bike in real time. So let's dive into it. First of all, I did not come into this review for the Indian Challenger with any preconceived notions of an American bagger, this badass looking machine, being playful, fun, exciting. None of that even crossed my mind. When you look at this motorcycle, it looks like a purpose-built American badass motorcycle. And so when I threw a leg over this machine, well, it started to change my mind a little bit about this bike. First of all, when I sat on it, nice low seat height. I've got a 32-inch inseam, and I felt very well planted on the ground. Heels all the way to the ground, slight bend in the knee, and the way that my hands landed right onto the handlebars. All of this, from an ergonomic standpoint, for me, were perfect. And I gotta tell you guys, that was the first of many happy surprises with this motorcycle. The ergonomics were so good and so natural that I immediately felt right at home on this motorcycle. Now, as you're looking across the dash, I love the analog gauges as they came together with that big LCD screen. And look, this bike's got all kind of doodads and gizmos and connectivity. I get all of that, and if you need it, I'm pretty sure this bike's got it. But the reality is we're here for the ride. And as basically a sport bike guy and not so much a cruiser guy, I'm much more interested in how this machine gets down the road. How does it handle? How does it feel when you twist the throttle? And, well, straight away, I've got to tell you guys, I was very impressed. That 108 cubic inch V-twin is very smooth, but it is very powerful with how it's putting down power. The throttle mapping is very progressive, it's not very sharp, and that is a good thing, because when that engine starts making power, it will shove all 830 pounds worth of motorcycle, not including rider, forward with authority. So let me just say this, immediately getting used to that bike, there is some girth and there is some heft that you just have to understand is going to come with the territory. But once the bike gets rolling, all of that goes away and you feel like you've left about 100 pounds of that bike sitting in the driveway behind you. And rolling through the gears, what I noticed straight away is that the harder I pushed this motorcycle, the more that it rewarded. See, this engine has a unique power output in that it will keep making power all the way through its advertised RPM band. Other V-twins or even parallel twins have a little bit of a struggle breathing if you get them into the top third of their tach. This engine, not like that at all. Matter of fact, it feels, just in terms of how this bike gets down the road and the way that it delivers power all the way through its rev range, more like a sport naked bike or a sport bike. Not in the terms of RPM, like the actual amount that it's turning, but just the fact that it will keep pulling until you hit a rev limiter. And that is so fun on a bike like this. Plus, it feels like it's aggressively geared in that for every revolution that that engine turns, it's putting even more power to the ground. So between the playful nature of the engine, the way that that bike was geared, and, well, the way that everything else came together, I forgot that I was on a bike as big as it is. In fact, somewhere in that ride-along video, I mentioned something along the lines that this motorcycle's got a bit of a conflict of reality. It seems to think that it is a much smaller sport naked bike than what it really is, which is a big, badass American bagger. So fast forward a little bit through the ride, I'm cruising along down the highway, which this motorcycle does exceptionally well. You got to be careful with this thing though going down the highway, not because of any instabilities or whatever. The suspension is phenomenal, but it's because of how this engine makes power. You will find yourself doing triple digits and not even realize it on this bike. And it just is so effortless to place. It's so well balanced. You'd be forgiven if you looked down and saw yourself kind of stratospheric with your velocity. So I had an opportunity to really get on it with this bike on a couple of different occasions as I spent the day with it. Guys, This is one of the fun party tricks with this motorcycle. I'm not recommending that you do it, but it will if you coax it. First of all, rolling burnout, yes, that was a real thing. And the bike just absolutely is so playful to ride that, well, it'll goat you into doing certain things. And yeah, there was a little bit of a dust patch on the road, but I didn't at all let off on the throttle. It stayed perfectly straight up and just kept that rear tire ablaze, which, guys, I was having a riot with that. Then, trying to get around another car, got on it pretty hard, grabbed second. The thing tried to pull the front tire off. Well, it did pull the front tire off the ground a little bit on the 1-2 shift. See what I'm getting at? This bike is a lot of fun, a lot more fun than I thought that it would be. So, in saying all of that, look, I understand these types of motorcycles are very expensive, but I can understand why so many people will save up their pennies and dimes for a motorcycle like this. There's not another bike that I've ridden, another type of bike, I should say, that I've ridden that offers up this type of a riding experience. Very sporty, but with a very ominous presence. It's extremely playful, but it's got a bit of a dark side too. This machine could absolutely get you into trouble if you are not paying attention, which is kind of the whole reason why we ride motorcycles, isn't it? So anyway, guys, I had a ball with this machine. If you've never ridden a bike like this, I highly recommend that you do. Once you get past the size of the thing, you get used to it, it will come as second nature. It's as docile as any other motorcycle that you've ever ridden until you start to twist that throttle and you get that immediate just shove from that big V twin. Then you'll find out why so many people are so hooked on bikes like this. And in saying that, guys, I just want to say thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. Please excuse my enthusiasm, but I had so much fun with this motorcycle. I think I'm going to try to find some excuses to ride it again. I had that much fun, and I think you would too. With that, guys, thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.